I believe I was gonna take retrieval arc Shikamaru, and you're gonna take chunin arc Choji. Okay, so are you okay with like we could just say like the fights taking place in like the tuning exam stage 3 area or whatever, the little arena? And
That's fine.
okay, so do you want me to start or what?
Sure, you can start.
Okay, so basically I think Shikamaru wins because overall he's faster, smarter, and he has a win condition with his he has shadow paralysis jutsu which can stop which is strong enough to stop Choji, and he has the ability to do the shadow strangle jutsu which can finish him off. And Choji doesn't really have a way to stop that because Shikamaru has done it on characters stronger than him. And
Um,
that's just my overall
so
premise.
you okay? Yeah, you made several
Want
points.
you on my
Yeah.
dick, my
Well,
nigga.
yeah, I'm going to go through one at a time and like show my evidence.
Okay, so the first claim you made is that he's faster. You
Yep.
said.
Yep.
Why is he faster?
Okay. Let me go to my scans real quick. Okay. So, Choji in the tuning exams, the only move we ever see him use is Human Boulder, and it was dodged by both Zaku and Dosu. And then, and also just let me know if you want me to drop any of the scans, and I will. Weighted Lee blitzes all three of them, the sound members, at once to Zaku, Dosu, and Kin. And then Weighted Lee also easily reacts to Dosu and outspeeds Dosu another time while injured. And then there's a statement from Ten saying Lee could have beaten all three Sound Ninja at once without distractions. And then later on in the tuning exams, Tamari says Weighted Lee isn't that fast and easily blocks him. But then in her fight with Shikamaru, Shikamaru easily dodges Tamari while on his back and planted two kunai onto the wall standing on them, which is a pretty good feat. And then he dodges another one of her attacks, which was an area of effect fan blast. So that scales Shikamaru to at least around Weighted Lee, who scales above Dosu and Zaku, who scales above Choji.
Okay, so
And that's
wrong,
tuning
right?
exams, Shikamaru.
Okay. Yeah, so we see Weighted Lee being able to keep up with Gaara's Sand. Like he almost get through Gaara's Sand, and we know that Gaara is stronger, the strongest one between Tamari and Konkoro. So her statement about saying that Weighted Lee is not that fast doesn't mean anything because she doesn't fight Lee personally, right? So she wouldn't actually know how fast Lee actually is just from watching. And then thirdly, you made another claim saying that Shikamaru is able to dodge, evade several attacks from Tamari. Why does her attack scale to her physical speed?
But why do her attacks scale to her physical speed?
Yeah, so her being able to use certain attacks like Taijutsu or her moving around instead of like launching
But
attacks at
it doesn't
Shikamaru.
matter. She called him
Mm.
fast and called Lee not that fast. It doesn't necessarily like look. Let me just post a scan.
You didn't
Look here,
understand
like
what I
look.
said.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it doesn't matter
Mhm.
because it's not the fact that he's dodging her. It's that she thinks his speed's impressive. But look, so she like you said she didn't fight Lee, but he did. He attacked her and she blocked him easily. And she literally says, "Just as I thought, you're not so fast after all." So she's seen him before, and then he attacked and she blocked it. And then later, let me show the scans.
What what scan did you say that when she watches him to say that?
No, I didn't say she watched him. I said Lee attacked her, she blocked, and then called him not that fast after she easily blocked him.
Okay, so I don't understand how you're trying to line that scaling up to Shikamaru because Shikamaru doesn't have any sort of feats on this on par with this at all.
In par with
Because
getting her blocked by weighted Lee. What do you mean?
because Guy states that in terms of speed, Lee can't be surpassed.
Yeah, but he
Are
was
you aware of
talking
that
about
statement?
weighted Lee or unweighted Lee. I'm sorry.
And it doesn't matter which version of Lee he was referring to because
Well,
we see no variation between weighted and unweighted.
you do see a differentiation because he gets much faster when he takes the weights off.
Not really, not at all.
He goes from not overcoming the sand to overcoming the sand, and also he goes to Choji could track him before, and when he took the weights off, he was so fast Choji couldn't even see him with his eyes anymore.
That's Choji.
Yeah, so it just shows there's a difference in speed, but it's irrelevant. He gets faster. We don't need to quantify it. It doesn't really matter. But look, okay, so look, she calls um, Lee not that fast, and here is oh sorry, this is the wrong scan.
The reason why this doesn't scale because we don't even know if Lee's moving at his full speed. Just dodging one attack from Lee doesn't mean that you scale to him.
Okay, let's go through that. Well, let's go through this real quick. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so she attacks Shikamaru while he's on his back, and then he just
Mm-hmm.
easily dodges her. And then here's the other one. She attacks him again while he was up there, and then she dodges it. And she says he's pretty quick. So we have the same character Tamari, basically dissing Lee's speed and hyping up Shikamaru's speed.
So no, right? So one, we literally see Shikamaru literally seeing Tamari coming at him, and then he dodges, right? And then she throws a fan attack at Shikamaru, and then he dodges again. So once again, the attack that Lee that she dodges from Lee is a physical feat, okay? And the other attacks that Shikamaru is dodging from are literally attacks that she herself is throwing at Shikamaru, and he's evading, right? And then Shikamaru is literally keeping his distance from Tamari so he can have the obligation to be able to react to her, right? Because we already know that Tamari, if she would have used like one of her big techniques on Shikamaru, game would have been over, right? Shikamaru just basically outsmarts her because he doesn't have the physical capabilities to even deal with Tamari. And that is the reason why he uses the shadow possession and stays away from Tamari the entire fight.
Yeah, I'm not saying his taijutsu's on the level of Lee or anything. It's just that his speed is enough to impress Tamari, while weighted Lee's wasn't. And she attacked him physically with her fan, and he dodged. And then she does a jutsu with her fan and also dodged. So he dodges her taijutsu and ninjutsu.
So,
And
so
it really
no.
doesn't even matter. Look, here's the official stats from Kishimoto, and Choji has a speed of 1, and Shikamaru has a speed of 2 in the Chunin exams, and in the Sasuke retrieval arc, which I'm using, it's a 2.5. So from Kishimoto himself, it's just his speed's objectively better, and the feats back it up as well. But if you want to try to run around it in circles, I could just end it
Yeah,
by putting what Kishimoto actually wrote.
these things are not reliable because it's literally contradicted.
Okay, do you have a contradiction of Choji being faster than
Yeah,
Shikamaru?
Shikamaru stated himself that he's stronger than him.
Yeah, physically. And look, Choji's physical strength is higher on
Not,
here.
no, not physically, right? Because when we use stronger in the context, that means they'll be able to beat somebody in a fight, right? So anytime that in Naruto that somebody uses in context that someone's stronger than them, they're talking about in terms of beating them in a fight. So for example, right, when they state that Sasuke is Gaara's strongest opponent, they are saying that Sasuke is a better matchup against Gaara than what Lee was because Sasuke was literally just beating the crap out of Gaara. Same thing for the Hokage. They state that the Hokage is the strongest one out of all the villages, right? Out of all the five great nations, right? So he'll be able to beat them in a fight, and that goes into context with Orochimaru stating the Kabuto that we can't believe that we beat someone who has the strongest reputation out of all the five great nations, right? For example, Kakashi stating that Orochimaru is stronger than him, right? This goes in all the context. It's just about beating someone in a fight. It's not just physical strength. It talks about overall.
Yeah, it's all about context, like you said, though. Those contexts are talking about overall ability, while Shikamaru seems to be talking more about physical strength, which is backed up by Choji having a higher physical strength, but lower overall stats, and also feats are just inferior. And it doesn't even matter, even if I steel man you on that and say Choji's stronger, he could only use the human boulder once during the tuning exams, and he becomes dizzy and unable to fight. So all he has to do is dodge it once.
Why
And
do you think
also,
that?
because hold on, let me. I guess it like that. That's like what happened in the exam. Let me
Yeah,
post it.
that's the argument from ignorance, right? Because we don't know what happened beforehand. Like Choji, like what?
He
This is
uses the
this is
human
not the
boulder
tuning
on.
exam. This is not the tuning exam.
Yes, it is. That's stage 2
I'm
of the
so,
tuning exams in the forest.
yeah. Do you know that he fights in the one-on-one matches as well against
Yep.
Dosu?
He does one
And
human boulder, gets stuck in a wall, and then loses.
no, he gets stuck in the wall because Dosu does that. It's not because he gets dizzy.
No, yeah, he didn't get dizzy there, but he wasn't done. But he either way, he only has ever done one human boulder in the tuning
Oh,
exams before stopping.
that's an argument from ignorance, though. You're
No, I'm
saying that
stating a
since
fact.
you're saying that since we only see him do it once, that means that he can only do it once. That's not the case. The reason why he only does it once is because he gets stuck in the wall.
That's not what I said. I said he only did it once and got dizzy the first time, and then the
Show
second
me
time he
that.
only did it. I just showed the feet right
I'm talking
there.
about against Dosu.
Yeah,
Dosu, he gets
that's
stuck in the wall.
yeah, no, yeah. He does it once, he gets stuck in the wall, and then Dosu
Hmm.
beats him. So he didn't have a chance to keep going in that instance. But we saw an earlier instance where he did have a chance to keep going, but he got sick.
He could have got stronger.
And even if he did get stuck in a wall, he could get stuck in a wall against Shikamaru, and that would be the perfect chance to shadow possession. Shadow
Why would he
possess
get
someone to
stuck
be
in the wall
over.
against Shikamaru?
Because he could miss and get hit the wall.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Doesn't mean that this thing will happen.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, but like I said, the only times he's ever used it, once he got sick, and the second time he got stuck in a wall.
Okay,
So,
you're saying these are the instances that happen within the manga.
yeah.
Okay, but just because these things happen in the manga does not mean that it's going to happen in a hypothetical fight. We're not arguing that. Oh, since Shikamaru got stuck here, he'll get stuck against Choji as well. No, we're not arguing like that. We're arguing from a hypothetical battle, right? So just because he got stuck against Dosu, right? Because Dosu dodges him and then he gets stuck somewhere, does not mean that he'll get stuck with Shikamaru, right?
That's fine, but you, as long as you have the evidence to back it up. So, do you have evidence he could do it more than once?
Yeah, I got evidence as well,
Okay.
right? Because we literally see him do it against Shikucho, right?
Can you show me what you're talking about? Because he does it the
Yeah, I have
Shikosho
you.
during the exam 2 stage, and that's when he gets sick.
I have you. And also, I need to get the context with him just saying he's is not physically stronger. He's in context about beating somebody in a fight. that's
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
the
also,
context.
it doesn't really matter
But I
because
got
that
you.
statement was made during the retrieval arc, and this is tuning arc
Yeah,
Choji.
how does Shikamaru know about his pills? Does Shikamaru know how strong
I
his
never
pills make
said
him?
he was talking about
Okay,
pills. Just base tuning arc Choji is weaker than base retrieval arc Choji.
we don't know that.
Yes,
That's
we
what I'm
do.
saying. So yeah, show me Shikamaru has knowledge on that. Go ahead.
What do you mean? They're teammates. They've constantly been working with each other that entire time.
Show me that.
I mean, okay, I can show you that because the data book 1 and 2 shows how many missions they've done, and they've done more
You,
missions in data book 2, which implies they've done missions since the tuning exam, which would
oh my
imply that he
god,
saw his
bro,
growth.
bro, show me that Shikamaru has knowledge on Choji who fights against Jogo versus Choji who fights against the tuning exam because Shikamaru was not there when Choji fights against fucking Jirobo. And those are the first time we literally see Choji being able to use the pills against Jirobo. And it's stated about Choji himself, these are the first time taking these
I
pills,
just
right?
said I wasn't talking about the pills.
So how would he know his strength versus Jirobo versus in the tuning exam?
I'm not talking about his strength during Jirobo. I said his strength
Hmm.
in his base form at that time.
Show me that. Show me Shikamaru has knowledge on that.
If he didn't have knowledge on it, why would he say Choji? Why would he even assume Choji's strength?
Because he can be basing it off other preferences, like in the tuning exam,
The tuning exams where Choji just got defeated easily.
against somebody that Shikamaru will also lose against.
Can you prove that?
Yeah, because Dosu beats Lee.
He beat Lee with his sound ability that he wasn't prepared for, and I just showed you. I just said
Because
10-10 said
because
Lee would have beaten him if he was actually focused on him and not Sakura.
yeah, because Lee is stronger than Shikamaru. Dosu would be Shikamaru. Dosu is able to go against Gar. Are you aware that Orochimaru ordered Dosu to go against Gar to kill Gar?
But say that again.
Do you not know that it took Gara to go demon mode, Shikaku mode, just to beat Dosu to kill him?
He did go demon mode, but he wasn't forced to go
Yeah,
demon mode. He just did it.
he goes demon mode against people, right, that he deem are strong.
He was just crazy and went crazy mode. Can you show me
No,
he was
oh
forced
my
to go?
god. He goes demon mode against people who he deem are strong, just like against Lee. He did not go demon mode against Lee. He went demon mode against Sasuke the instant he seen Sasuke in battle because he knows how strong Sasuke is.
Yeah, but he didn't do that before because he wasn't supposed to. He was literally told not to do it in front of people, and he just wanted to
What I'm
release and kill someone. At night, there was no one around.
what are you referring to?
He wasn't. He was told he wasn't allowed to go into Shukaku mode before the time was right by his Jonin instructor, as everyone would seize the Jinchuriki, and they would ruin their plan.
It doesn't matter what he was told, right? This thing was forced to come out against Sasuke
Yeah,
just
it
because
was.
how
Yeah,
strong
yeah, it
Sasuke
was. It
is.
was forced to come out
Yeah,
there, but it wasn't forced to come out against Dosu. It went out for a different reason.
prove that.
Well, you're the one who came with the claim first. You said he came because he
You
said.
just made a positive claim as well.
Yeah, but you made it first, so we're both at an impasse there. Then, anyways.
So what I'm saying is that so my evidence has more my claim has more evidence backed up than yours, right? So my claim is that this thing has been shown to come out against strong opponents, and I gave you a preponderance of evidence showing this to be the case. You made another positive claim with no evidence to support this. All you just said is that this thing he was told not to do this thing, and then I made a claim of saying, well, it doesn't matter if he was told not to do this thing because this thing was forced to come out because he goes against strong opponents. And then you're just saying, well, it just came out against Dosu just because it came out. That's not an argument.
Hold on, let's look at the chapter. Do you know what chapter this is?
Let me see. You probably check like somewhere between the 40s, 50s, somewhere in between those, or after the preliminaries somewhere. It's not really
Okay, I
telling me.
think I might have found it in 91. Oh yeah, see, there is literally another reason given. He's just sitting there, and then Gar says, "When the full moon is out, its blood stirs up." So it literally just came out because it wanted to because there's a full moon. So there's literally a reason given.
You said his blood is thirst up.
Stirs up, like it's stirred up. I'll
Drop that
post it.
stamp,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so now we have like an in manga reason for why.
Full one and blood stands up. Let's see which one's quicker. Your sound. This is literally Dosu saying this.
No, the Dosu's the middle panel. The one on the left is Gar, and it's pointing towards his shadow.
Okay, so I've seen and analyzed your sand attacks. Let's see which one's quicker. Your sand or my sound. When the full moon is out, its blood stirs up. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is literally Dosu literally going against Gar. He literally says which one is quicker, my sand or yours, his sound, right?
Yep.
So, and then we literally see. Let's say this thing was forced to come out. Okay, right? This thing was forced to come out against Dosu because of the full moon. Let's say this. This is Dosu still confident enough that he can beat Gara. He just doesn't know about Gara's fucking Shikaku state, right? So if Dosu's able to combat with Gara's Sand, right, something that Lee couldn't go against, right? So Dosu is confident, right? So this Dosu, this supports the fact that Dosu can also beat Shikamaru.
It just shows that he's confident in his sound ability, which is fine. He did take out Weighted Lee with that. I'm just talking about taijutsu speed. Like,
Jutsu speed. So
yeah, like I think Shiku or Dosu's sound speed is arguably faster than Shikamaru. That's fine. I'm just talking about an actual like speed in taijutsu.
Shikamaru doesn't show any taijutsu feats.
But he dodged out of Tamari's way twice, which is his physical movement speed.
From looking at her coming at him.
Yeah, that's how you dodge people.
That's aim dodging.
But how's it aim dodging? He was on his back in a vulnerable position, and she literally just attacked him with her fan while he was on the ground, and he was so fast he just moved out of the way and jumped on the wall, throwing two kunais into the wall and landing on it perfectly in that time.
He's looking at her coming at him. He has time to evade her attack. It's not an impressive feat.
That's how every people dodge. That's how every single person dodges. You look at someone coming at you, and you have time to dodge their attack. That's how every dodging works.
So can you prove that Shikamaru is able to avoid his dojutsu? I mean his sound.
No, I don't need to prove that. Lee couldn't dodge that either.
Okay.
I'm scaling.
Lee was hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's a nerf Lee.
I mean, it's kind of irrelevant.
And he fought against 3 people, so it's not a one-on-one fight.
Okay, let me look at my stuff again.
Yeah. Did you just say Lee being hurt is
what?
Doesn't matter?
No, I don't think I said that. Well, if I did, I said it didn't matter in the context of what I'm talking about. Obviously, being hurt slows him down. I think, but he still kind of kept up with Dosu while he was hurt, is what I said earlier. And like I said, Shikamaru scales the weighted Lee.
I don't think he does. That's what we still arguing about.
Yeah, let's see the Lee compared to Dosu. Okay, that's him reacting to his attack once. Here's another instance of him. I think this is when he was injured and he like runs in front of him. But then he like gets messed up because he was already hurt.
So this is Lee avoiding Dosu?
Yeah, the first one is him grabbing a root and blocking Dosu's attack, like mid-attack. And then the second one was Dosu went for Sakura, and Lee was running and like outsped him in front of Sakura. And before he could kick Lee, or before Lee could kick Dosu, his like ear hurt again from the sound attack earlier, and then so Dosu countered it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Lee being faster than Dosu. That's pretty obvious, right? What's my contention is that Shikamaru scales above Lee, which I don't think he does. Just based off you saying to Temari, what chapter does he fight against Temari? What he fought against?
74. Oh wait, that was against Lee. You said against Shikamaru? That's 106. Shikamaru versus Temari is 106, and Tamari versus Lee 74.
So what is she basing this off of? Has she seen Lee fight before this?
Um,
Because she
I'm
says, just as I thought, you are not so fast after all. So after all, meaning that she would have had the same Lee fight prior to this.
That's what it sounds like. I don't remember her seeing him fight, at least not seriously, but I know she's seen him before, like probably in like the tuning exams room and whatnot. But I don't think she saw a serious fight with Lee in the past. But either way, she wasn't impressed by his speed.
But the comment is saying that after all, so obviously she thinks that his speed was hyped up to the point, and now he tries to kick her. He's saying, "As I thought, you're not so fast after all."
Yeah.
So obviously she's trying to base this off of something, or she wouldn't just be making this claim. She'd just say, "You're not fast," but she says, "After all."
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but I don't remember what she's basing it off of, and I don't really think it's relevant. It's just the end result is she isn't actually that impressed in weighted Lee speed.
So you're not getting what I'm trying to say, right? So what I mean, so for example, right? If I was to say that somebody hyped up my basketball skills, be like, "Oh, this guy is great. This guy is a legend. Oh my god," right? And then I go against this guy, and I'm like, "Oh, he's not as good as people said that he was after all." Right? It doesn't take away any notion from you being great or you being a legend, right? It's just that people were hyping you up to the point where you just think that, oh, after all, you're not as good as people say you are, but you can still be at this certain level,
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm not
Same
saying
thing.
he's bad. I'm just saying that based off of what she considers that not as good as what she thought, and then she
Mm-hmm.
considers Shikamaru's speed impressive. So I'm not saying even Shikamaru's faster than Lee, just
Yeah.
that they have to be somewhat relative, or she wouldn't be impressed by a guy who's way slower than a guy who she already wasn't impressed with.
Okay, so these are two different speeds. This is dodging speed, right? And a dodging speed and attack speed are two different things. Reaction speed and
Yeah,
physical
yeah, but I'm
and
only
attacking speed are
arguing
two
dodging
different
speed
things.
for
Okay.
Shikamaru. I'm arguing dodging speed because all he needs to do is dodge human boulder.
So once again, right? Why does her physical speed uh go so oh my god. You're basing Tamari's speed based off her being able to react to Lee. Okay? This is Lee's attack speed, right? And now you're saying that since she's able to dodge Lee, right, and that she's able to attack Shikamaru, and Shikamaru is able to dodge her, why does her dodging speed scale to Lee's attack speed via Shikamaru? If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, she blocked his kick with her arm. She had to move her fan with her arm. She attacked
Mm-hmm.
Shikamaru by moving her fan with her arm, just in a different way. She hit down instead of bringing it up.
She ran to Shikamaru.
She kind of stepped in, like, they weren't that far away. She, like, stepped and, like, slapped her fan on the ground.
Want me to get to your anime? I got you.
And either way, it still goes back to how she was impressed by his speed, so it has to be somewhat good.
She could be impressed based off just how Shikamaru is. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
And
Just how Lee was hyped up to be so fast, right? And Shikamaru doesn't have no hype behind him. She could just be basing off of that. Look, she's literally looking at even in the anime. Look at this. He's literally watching her run at him, right, while he's laid on the ground. It's not like he's reacting from these different positions, whereas he's like just so fast. Like he has time to react.
but he would also have time to react against Choji, who just telegraphs his move and, like, comes at you with a human boulder.
Uh,
So okay, let's can you
he's gonna.
prove Choji could tag Shikamaru at this point?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that first. I have to go against this first, and then she literally jumps up in the air, which literally slows down your mobility, and then he literally reacts.
Why would she jump
So
up in the air if it slows her though? I mean, logically,
because she
physical
she
show.
wanted to attack from
And
the start.
also, Shikamaru in this scene you showed, he didn't even start moving until she was almost on top of him.
She jumps in the air, and then he moves out of the way. And the reason
Okay.
why she jumps up in the air because when you jump up in the air, you're bringing more force down.
Yeah.
Because gravity's higher there.
Mhm.
That's why.
But you literally see, like, she's almost to the ground with her like fan about to smash him before he even starts moving.
So my argument still stands, right? So he's looking at her running, right, which is giving him time to react to her. He knows the attack is coming. Then she literally jumps up in the air, and then he moves out of the way. So it still goes in my argument. he has time to react. Is a form of aim dodging. If you know what attack is coming, you have a greater chance of moving out of the way.
Yeah, and he'll know Choji's coming.
Okay, I'm going. So now you want to get into that? Why I think Choji will be able to tag him?
Sure.
Yeah, right. So once again, I believe that Choji will be able to tag Shikamaru because Shikamaru's shadow paralysis won't be able to hold Choji because Choji is just much stronger.
Okay, I could show why that's
Mm-hmm.
not the case.
Okay, go ahead.
Even if we say Choji's stronger, Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsu can hold people much stronger than himself. He held 8 sound chunin at once, and he was going to defeat all 8 of them at once if there wasn't a 9th one out waiting for them to help.
Show me that you'll have to prove that they're stronger than Choji.
Well, they were given the rank chunin, and Choji wasn't.
That doesn't mean anything because we know that Naruto was a gaining for the longest. And
Yeah, because he didn't take the gaining because he didn't take the chunin exams at that point. Naruto
Who
wasn't
didn't take the chunin exam.
Naruto. He wasn't chunin level until after the chunin exams happened.
So the claim that you made is that they were given the rank chunin and Naruto was not. That has nothing to do with anything.
Chunin isn't always about strength, but you have to have other things besides strength. But you have to be chunin level in strength to be given chunin. But you could be lower than chunin. You could be above chunin strength and not be given chunin if you suck in other areas.
Okay, we know that Shikamaru sucks in other areas as well.
But he was still chunin level in all areas. But
okay, so your claim that you made is that the reason why they're stronger because they're giving the rank chunin and Choji is not. So in this context, you're referring to strength.
Okay, but right? I mean, at the very least, they have to be comparable. Like, let's say Choji is chunin rank. There's no reason to think he's stronger than 8 chunins at the same time.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you'll have to prove, right, that they're stronger than Choji. It's not like their strength is combined in the shadow paralysis. No, he's able to hold them all, right, because of their base strength. It's not like their strength is being combined together.
Okay, but I can prove that Tayuya is stronger than Choji, and he held her. Because base Choji had to take the green pill to fight, what's his face, Jirobo, and it was blatantly stated Jirobo was the weakest of the Sound Four. And
he fought him in base as well.
Yeah, he fought him in base and was losing, and then he had to take the pill, and then he got the advantage. And then Jirobo went Curse Mark State 1 and got the advantage again. And then Choji took the yellow pill and got the advantage again. And then Jirobo went second form and got the advantage again. And then Choji went butterfly mode and won.
Yeah, I know how it went.
Yeah.
You have to prove that Tayuya is stronger than Jirobo.
Okay.
Which you can't.
Okay, there. I knew it was a mistake I'll leave the weakest behind, so there it stated Jirobo is weaker. And Jirobo...
She just hates Jirobo.
No, that's the other guy saying that. She said, "Sheesh, what's Fatso?" No, it's the other guy. She says, "Sheesh, what's Fatso up to?" Gah. And then Ukon says, or Sakon says, "I knew it was a mistake to leave our weakest behind."
That's contradiction.
No. And
because yeah, that is a contradiction because he's able to combat with Choji, who is stated to be the strongest out of everybody, and then we know that people beat the other Sound 4 members, so that's a contradiction there.
That's like a circular argument basically because you said
how
it's a contradiction because you said because it stated Choji stronger, but then I could just say that's a contradiction because it stated she's stronger than Jirobo, and then we could go back and forth, and it's a circle. But
that wasn't my argument, and that's not what circular reasoning.
Well, yeah, means. I know. Well, it will become a circular argument if we go that route.
Yeah. I'm going to explain why that's not a circular argument, and that wasn't my argument. So my argument is that Shikamaru states that Choji is the strongest, and then Jirobo fights against Choji, right? Who is stated by Shikamaru to be the strongest, right? This is from Shikamaru himself, and then Shikamaru's combat with Tayuya, Neji fights Kidomaru, and Kiba fights Saikon, and they're able to go toe-to-toe with them, right? But Choji defeats Jirobo, okay? And he had to go into butterfly mode, which literally amplifies itself to like 100 times. The red pill is like 100 times amplifier, and Jirobo is able to go against him. So if Jirobo's the weakest, how is Choji, who is stated to be the strongest, right, combating with Jirobo? Right, that doesn't even make sense. That's a contradiction.
He didn't combat with the butterfly form and got one shot.
You said what?
Jirobo got one shot by the butterfly form. He didn't combat it.
What I'm saying is that Choji had to go into butterfly mode,
Okay. I don't see what that proves.
just to defeat Jirobo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shikamaru is not aware of the red pills at all, so he was just referring to Choji's base strength.
And yeah, like I said, he's just talking about physical strength. He is the physically strongest of them.
Let's say he was.
And also, Choji,
oh
like
God.
the whole thing is Choji is strong, but he's mentally nerfing himself all the time. But that's like he's not confident and he's not a good fighter. He's just strong. And his whole arc is he finally reaches that level in the war.
Let's say it is referring to physical strength. Okay, the shadow possession is based off physical strength. If your physical strength can overcome it, that is the reason why the shadow possession can't hold you any longer. That's why when Toyoya, when she goes like into Curse Mark 2, she's able to move now because she's getting stronger.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Choji is stronger than that based off just his physical strength, how will Shikamaru be able to hold him?
So you're saying base Choji is stronger than Curse Mark 2 Tayuya?
Oh my God. Let me repeat it again. Okay. I'm not even trying to be like.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying because she could break it, but Choji's stronger than her, so he could also break it. But you're basing Choji doesn't get the pills in this fight, so you can't scale anything beyond his base form, and his base form is weaker. His base form is weaker than base Jirobo. So you have to prove that base Jirobo would be stronger than Curse Mark State 1 or 2 Tayuya, because like he should be even weaker than base Tayuya. But even if you ignore that and say he's actually stronger, you have to prove he's above Curse Mark State 1, which Shikamaru was literally beating before she went State 2.
What I'm saying is based off mass. Do you know what weight is?
Yeah.
So prove that once Choji expand his body, that Shikamaru can hold him.
Why would I have to prove that? He's not that.
Because he's now heavier. Do you not know that?
Yeah.
Choji already weighed more than Tayuya and Jirobo just based off his weight alone. So once he expand his body, he's also creating more mass.
Yeah.
Right. So prove that Shikamaru will be able to hold Choji.
Okay, hold on. He held 8 people at the same time, and if you smash their bodies together, they would be about the same size as him as expanded.
You can't prove that, bro.
You could show a picture of Choji and his human boulder and see how much bigger he is compared to all of them. Not that it matters because these ninjas are way stronger. Like Tayuya or any of these ninjas are way stronger than just someone who's like the size of a hippo. Like it's not that big. It's not like his yellow pill form. I agree if you said, oh, he might not be able to hold yellow Choji, he's like as big as a mountain, then yeah, sure. But oh, he's as big as a hippo, who cares? These characters could all lift multi-tons. It doesn't matter.
So the Shadow Paralysis is not based off combined strength. Just because he's able to hold all of them at once does not mean that their combined strength is the case.
That's retarded.
Right. No, that's not.
He has to hold them. That's like saying if you're holding 2 adult men with each arm, their scale, like your strength doesn't scale. It's like, oh, it's just as easy to hold 2 adult men, 1 in each arm, than it is to hold 1 adult man with both your arms. No, the more people you have to hold with your shadow or anything, your strength, your shadow possession, the harder it gets. You think he could hold 1,000 ninja at once just because they're all weak ninja? No, their strength adds up.
That's like me saying I can hold one person with my left arm and the other person with my right arm, right? And then another person comes in my left arm, then another person comes in my right arm. Doesn't mean that I can hold all of them just with my left arm.
Yeah, the more the people, the heavier it's going to get, and there's more here. The shadow possession's like one of his arms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just proved my point.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the more there are, the harder it's going to be.
So just because that Shikamaru is able to hold all of them with the shadow possession does not mean that he can hold heavier opponents, okay?
What?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but combined, they're heavier.
They're not. That's what I'm saying. They're not combining.
But where were you basing that off of?
Because he's able to hold all of them off.
Yeah, because that's just how strong he is.
No, that's not the case. Because we literally see he struggles to hold Tayuya off. Are you saying?
Yeah, because she's stronger than all of them combined.
Yeah,
because
prove that.
Yeah, because she was breaking out.
That's a circular argument.
But okay, look, he has. So basically, what you're saying is he would be able to hold 1,000 of these ninja at once, and it would be just as easy.
That's not what I'm saying. You just said that since Tayuya is able to break out and he's able to hold all of these, that combined, that means Tayuya is stronger than him. That's not the case. You have to prove that.
Yeah, it means it's harder. Yeah, because it's harder to hold her. So therefore, she must be stronger than them combined because he could hold all of them at once with just his strength.
Yeah, that's an argument from ignorance too.
How so?
Because you're saying that the lack of evidence of the proposed means that this must be the case. You're just saying that Taiyu is able to break out, Shikamaru is able to hold all of them at once. That means that all of them combined is weaker than Taiyu. There's no evidence other than you leading back to the premise to show that they're actually stronger or weaker than Taiyu.
I mean, it's just basic logic. Like, imagine if you're like holding 3 or 4 children in your arms and trying to stop them from breaking out, and now you're holding just now one giant bodybuilder from breaking out, and he just easily breaks out. Obviously, that guy's stronger than all the little children combined, and it's the same thing here. He's holding all these people with his shadow. The shadow jutsu is not split up or anything. It's one shadow possession jutsu, and it has a limit to how much it could hold. These guys are within that limit. Tayuya was breaking out of it.
Yeah, that's the appeal to reality, right? You're saying that in the reality that this is the case. That means in this anime fiction that this is the case. When we know that in anime fiction that there's a lot of things that goes into context with what they do that doesn't appeal to reality as well, right? So you just can't say that a jutsu being able to hold 8 people off at once, right? And a jutsu that can hold Tayuya, right, but not a curse to Tayuya means that all these shinobis combined is not stronger than Tayuya. That's not the case at all. So basically, you're saying that are you aware, like in Boruto, how like Shikamaru was able to hold off like all the 5 Kage and even Kenshiki?
Okay, this is irrelevant. I could have another way to prove it, anyways.
I'm about to explain to you why.
I have another. But okay, look. Let me listen to this because it might.
Can I finish my argument?
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
All right. So the reason why he's able to hold all the 5 Kage up and Kenshiki and Momoshiki, but Naruto is able to break out of it. Right? So are you saying that Kenshiki, Momoshiki, and all the 5 Kage combined strength means that they're weaker than Naruto? No, I'm going to tell you why that's not the case. Because we literally see that Fused Momo, which is literally Momoshiki and Kenshiki combined, is able to beat the fuck out of Naruto.
Well, one, I do think Naruto's stronger than all the Kage combined. The only question is Momoshiki. But the thing is, you can't prove their fusion is 1 + 1. It could be like Vegeta or Gogeta, where they're like thousands of times stronger than the original. You can't prove it's not otherwise.
And what?
I'm saying fused Momoshiki could be multiple times stronger than just base Momoshiki. It might not just be base Momoshiki plus Kenshiki. It could be like. You can't prove it. It's like you said, it's fiction. You can't just add them together. That just proves that's how much stronger he is. But it's like I said, it's irrelevant though, because like I said, I can prove Tayuya's stronger than all these guys at once anyways.
Hold on. I'm going to prove to you why. The reason why, because Kenshiki is able to combat with Naruto. I mean Sasuke, and Sasuke is deemed equals to Naruto, so it's still skills.
Okay, it's completely irrelevant anyways. Like I said, let's go back to these guys. There's 8 of them.
Are you dropping that point?
No, let's go back to. You're the one who brought that point up. I said it was irrelevant from the start.
But you haven't shown why it was irrelevant.
We can't prove how strong Fused Momoshiki is compared to base Momoshiki.
I just gave you another argument.
Sasuke is not as strong as Naruto.
It's literally stated in the data books.
Okay, let's just go back to this because let's keep that debate focused.
So do you want that scan?
No.
Look, you're moving on.
Yes, I'm moving back to the actual point with these 8 ninja and Tayuya because that's irrelevant.
Okay. So I won that point. Okay.
It was irrelevant, but
you keep saying it's irrelevant, but if you don't contend it, then
I don't, because I don't want to waste everyone's time. I don't want to waste my time. We're debating Choji versus Shikamaru, not Naruto versus Sasuke or Momoshiki. It's irrelevant.
It was an argument to why.
Yeah, but so if I win this argument, as long as all I have to do is prove Tayuya is stronger than these ninja. Okay, so base Tayuya has feats, and these fodder ninja don't, so she automatically scales above a single one of them. And then
that's not the case.
Okay, can you prove that any of them are stronger than Tayuya and base?
From ignorance.
Okay.
Negative.
Well, okay,
You just said Tayuya has feet. Since they don't have feet to show, that means that she's automatically stronger.
Yeah, they were caught by base Shikamaru and chunin exams. Okay, look, they all would have lost to base Shikamaru from the chunin exam, so that automatically makes them weaker.
Can you prove that they were on guard?
They were caught off guard, but the fact that they're stuck proves that they're just bad ninja. But okay, so let's just be nice and say they're equal. With base Tayuya, like they're just on the same level as her. And also these are fodder. Sound Shinobi and the Sound 4 are considered Orochimaru's elites, so logically they should at least be on par with them. But
what?
The sound 4
What do
are
you?
Orochimaru's elite sound ninja.
What does that mean?
It means they're above the fodder.
Yeah, combined they are. Doesn't mean that individually they're above 8 shinobi.
No, no, yeah, no. In her base, I'm not saying she is, but look, I'm saying in her base she should be at least relative to them.
I
And
don't
then
think that's the
because
case.
she could handle the curse mark given to her, while many other people can't. So,
Prove that the curse mark were given to them. That they tried to get the curse mark.
well, no, we haven't seen it given to them, but we've seen it at least in the
Okay.
anime given to other people, and they died from it. And we know that it's literally stated in the
Okay.
manga that most people die from it. So we could assume that at least some of these people would die from it.
You're strawmanning the heck out of my arguments. Like
But
I don't
I'm
think you're
I'm not even
understanding.
attacking your argument. Yeah, I'm trying to explain my argument, and you keep not letting me finish. But okay, let's just assume base to Taiyu is like on par with these guys, somewhat relative. Curse mark stage 2 is stated to be a 10 times boost. So if she's relative
It's
to
not.
them, what?
It's not.
Yes, it is. It says it
It's
amplifies the
not.
chakra by times 10.
It doesn't.
Do you have proof of that?
Are you talking about the Jirobo statement?
Yeah, and it's also stated the same thing for Sakon. So out of the four have stated to have it.
We do know that the curse marks differ in power. We do know that the heavens curse mark is stronger than the other curse marks. So we don't know, just because they get a 10 times multiplier doesn't mean that just because she also has a curse mark.
Okay, that argument's a little silly considering 2 out of the 4 have
Ow.
been confirmed to have an exactly 10 times
Show me those
boost.
statements.
Okay. Okay, there's the Jirobo one. And here is the Sakon Ukon one.
Yeah,
So 2 out of the 4.
my level 2 seal, which gives me more than 10 times
Yeah,
my original
and then the
strength,
other guy
okay?
also has it.
Okay, and where does he state this thing? Yeah, you're too hasty, brother. So you already outmatched big time. Huh? That's right. Guy came out with their chakra increased tenfold. So how do you want it cooked, brother, in pieces? This is Kiba making this statement.
Yeah, he could sense that they're
Do
10
you know what
times stronger.
tenfold means? Let me get you the definition of tenfold.
It means by 10.
We're gonna see. It says 10 times as great or as numerous. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me get that definition. So a numerous doesn't mean 10. It could be 5. It could be 6. It could be...
What? No, 10 times
It's
is
just
numerous.
It's just an exaggeration on how strong someone became. It doesn't have to be literal. I'll get you the definition right here.
Yeah, 10 times is great or numerous. Numerous is synonymous with great or great. Like
Yeah, how would
number-wise.
Kiba know? How would Kiba know this?
He could sense it. I don't know. Or
How
Shikamaru
can
sense
he-
it. Since Shikamaru, or not Shikamaru, what's his dog's name? Akamaru could sense how strong people are.
Yeah, how does he know how strong he got in, though?
I don't know, and I don't need to know. He just knows.
Okay, so he doesn't know. Okay.
What he
We can
literally
move on
said?
now.
What he said he knows. I don't. Why would I have to
I
know
just
how he
asked
did
you-
it?
I just asked you, how does he know this thing to be the
Let me
case,
ask you
or
a
how would he
question.
know to just take this thing?
Let me
Okay,
ask you a
let
question.
explain.
Am I omniscient?
No, you're not.
Okay, then why would I need to know how he did it? We just know he did it.
Oh my God, let me explain to you. So what I am saying, right, is that Kiba, right, just because he states this thing to be tenfold does not mean 10 times. It could just be an exaggeration on how strong someone became. And then now I'm questioning your evidence by saying, how would he know that it is 10 times exactly, right, to defeat the argument, right, that is just referencing how strong somebody became? It's an exaggeration. It doesn't have to be literal. Do you understand?
Yeah, because we know the other guy who said his was also a 10 times boost. So you would have to be pretty disingenuous to say his was a 10 times
That's it.
boost, and this just happens to be, oh, this 10 times boost is actually not a 10 times boost. He's just saying that as an exaggeration, even though the exact same
That's
power
a
up from the
hasty-
other guy was also given an exact number of 10 times boost.
Do they have the same curse mark?
It doesn't matter. They both have a times
Okay.
boost, as said.
Do they have? I already defeated that. Do they
No,
have
you
the
didn't.
same curse mark?
No, not as far as I'm aware.
Okay, so why does both curse marks work the same way?
They don't have to, but they're both stated to have a 10 times boost. That's all we need to know.
It was stated by Jirobo that his was, and then it was stated by Kiba. We could just move on. I already defeated that. You're not understanding.
Yeah, sure.
We can move on. All right, go ahead. Next argument.
Okay, so as long as he could hold on to her, he could do his shadow choking jutsu, which is a automatic win condition as long as he's strong enough to hold down his opponent. So if I won the strength argument, he has a win condition on Choji. So would you agree if I hypothetically won the strength argument, Shikamaru would be able to win with Shadow Strangle Jutsu.
No.
Okay, how would he not win if he's stronger? If let's assume that I won that point, even if I didn't.
Because I already explained why Choji, he wouldn't be able to hold Choji, and I don't think that you properly explained why this would be the case with the argument.
Did you not hear what I said? I'm saying if we assume I won, even if you think I didn't, would the ability Shadow Strangle Jutsu work on someone he could hold? I'm not saying he can. I'm saying if that was the case, would Shadow Strangle work?
There'd be a limit to how long he would be able to hold someone.
Well, sure, he couldn't do it for like 100 years, but I'm saying is that he could choke him out if he was stronger. Like obviously, let's say you won on the strength and said Choji's actually too strong to be held, then yeah, he couldn't do it. But as long as he's weaker than if he's stage 1 Tayuya level or lower, he would be choked out because she would have been choked out.
Let's say hypothetically, yeah, sure. But I have another argument as well. Are you aware that like human boulder is able to break out of Jirobo's little thing?
Yeah.
His little his chakra dome where it literally sucks up people's chakra.
Yep.
Okay, Choji's able to break out of that with just human boulder.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's another argument. I don't think that Shikamaru will be able to hold human boulder.
Which he has ever done once max. So.
You keep that's an argument for me.
Well, it's not an argument from ignorance because he failed to do it more than once the first time, and the second time he was stopped. But
yeah, I already explained. Is that it for you?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me look through my stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, and Shikamaru has an IQ of 200. Obviously, I could post that if you need it, but he's way smarter than Choji, who was given like the lowest intelligence score in Naruto, like at 0.5 in the data book. So he would easily be able to outsmart him and defeat him, even if he's stronger.
No, he wouldn't.
And examples of that.
That intelligence stuff only goes so far.
I agree, but Choji's not very strong, so.
We know that Naruto's dumb as a brick, and he's able to beat up stronger opponents. So that intelligence stuff doesn't matter for real.
Choji's never defeated someone stronger than himself.
He did, Jirobo.
But while he was stronger from the pills.
He's able to combat with versions of Jirobo. It doesn't necessarily have to be with it at its peak.
Yeah, and he was losing every time he was weaker. And then he had to take a pill to become stronger.
So what I am saying, once again, right, is that Naruto, who is dumb as a brick, is able to beat up stronger opponents. So what I'm saying is that the intelligence stuff only goes so far because Choji is stronger than Shikamaru.
When has Naruto defeated someone stronger than himself? And also, Naruto has way better versatility and abilities than Choji.
That's subjective, but okay.
Okay, so what's subjective about Naruto having more abilities than Choji, who only has
one ability?
Yeah, Choji has one ability. So by
so he doesn't have more.
What?
So he doesn't have more.
Choji has less. Naruto has Rasengan and Shadow Clones.
He didn't have Rasengan in the preliminaries.
You didn't say preliminary Naruto. You just said Naruto.
I just said Naruto is able to beat up opponents that are stronger than him.
Okay, right? Give an example.
Yeah, for example, he beat Kiba.
And how do you know Kiba's stronger than Naruto?
Because it's literally shown.
Well, it's not. But also, Naruto was nerfed at that time. And also, he only won because he farted in his face, so it was luck. So
it doesn't matter. He still was able to come back with Kiba. With just Shadow Clone Possessor Jutsu.
Yeah, that's fine. And Kiba also only had one move, and Kiba's not that good.
Kiba didn't only just have one move.
And they were basically about the same.
He had Man Beast clone, which was just a clone of Akamaru turned into itself, and he had Fang over Fang. So those are two abilities.
Yep.
And he also had the pills.
Yep. And Naruto had Shadow Clone and Transformation Jutsu. That's also two abilities.
That's literally the same thing.
Yeah. Exactly. So they both had two abilities.
No, that's the Shadow Clone and Transformation is literally the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, you are.
No, one transforms your body to something else.
Yeah, which is just a clone of something else.
It doesn't have to be a clone. You could do it to your own body.
And your body will turn into a clone of something, correct?
No, it's just your body that looks different.
Oh my god, this guy has to be retarded.
Do you know what a clone is?
Into a clone of something.
Well, it depends what your definition of a clone is. A doppelganger is a better word for it.
My definition of a clone is basically a fake of something.
Okay, if that's your definition, which is not really the
Yeah.
definition of a
So if you
clone, but it's
transform
a
into the Nine
doppelganger.
Tails, if you transform into the Nine Tails, you're not actually the Nine Tails. You're just
Yeah,
transforming a clone of it.
you're a
Okay.
doppelganger of it. A clone is not the right word, in my opinion.
A doppelganger is a clone.
No, a clone is
Shadow
something
clone
that.
is literally Shadow clone is literally like stated to be doppelganger. It's stated in Boruto several times.
Yeah. If that's how you want to use the word, then fine, it's a clone. But it's not. Shadow clone's different though. Shadow clone's creating more of yourself, and then a transformation jutsu, which is another jutsu with a different hand sign,
You
transforms you
can
to look
make
like something else.
you can make one shadow clone. You don't have to make numerous. It's just
Yeah, I
Naruto
know. And
decides to make
you could
numerous.
transform yourself without making any clones. You could just make your own body into someone else.
Yeah, you're using your body to make
Yeah,
to turn into a clone of something.
sure. It's not shadow clone though. It's different.
Once you get hit, you're gonna transform back into yourself. Correct?
That's irrelevant, but sure.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other arguments you have?
Okay, let me see. Let me go through my stuff. Okay. So speed wise, I said Shikamaru has the speed feats to dodge Choji's human boulder due to scaling to characters who have shown they can dodge it, and he has a higher speed stat, which was written by Kishimoto himself. All he'd have to do is dodge the human boulder and shadow possess a dizzy Choji, and you haven't shown Choji could do the human boulder more than once.
Oh.
Okay, a stronger version of Choji needed a green pill to boost his power to fight base Jirobo. He needed a yellow pill to fight Curse Mark 1 Jirobo, and he was one shot by Curse Mark 2 Jirobo while using the yellow pill. Jirobo is stated to be the weakest of the Sound 4 based off the scan I showed. Tayuya went to Curse Mark State 1 to fight Shikamaru, and Shikamaru got the better of her. She was forced to go Stage 2 to break out, and Shikamaru then used Shadow Strangle Jutsu, which made her struggle. So he's somewhat relative to Curse Mark Stage 2 Tayuya. She scales above Curse Mark Stage 2 Jirobo, who scales above Yellow Pill Choji, who scales above Curse Mark State 1 Jirobo, who scales above Green Pill Choji, who scales above Base Jirobo, who scales above Retrieval Arc Choji, who scales above Chunin Arc Choji. So that's a big gap.
Are you done?
Hold on, let me see.
You're just repeating all your arguments.
Yeah, I'm just making sure everything's clear. Shikamaru. Okay, so like my strength inclusion is Shikamaru was able to hold his own against Choji, or Shikamaru was able to hold his own against an opponent confirmed to be stronger than Choji, and needed strength. Who Choji needed strength boosting pills to contend with. He can strangle Choji into submission, like I said. If I won the strength point, you agreed to that. And he could use kunai to finish the job. He was going to use the kunai to beat the 8 sound ninja he captured as well. So that's in character for him to use them. He could make him bump his head into the wall like he did against Kin. Or find some other creative way to win because he has 200 IQ. So he could literally think up anything pretty much. So basically, Shikamaru's faster. He's too smart to let Choji catch him. And he's too powerful for Choji to resist as he directly scales above him.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, I think that's basically it. So out of all that stuff, I think the only thing you could address if you want to is like, does Choji have any resistance to kunais? Any feats resisting kunai?
I don't need to. I think all your arguments failed.
Yeah, so I think basically this debate comes down to if you think, like, I think if you won, it would be based off if someone actually thinks that Choji being stronger automatically scales him above Shikamaru in every way and not just physical strength. And then if it's the other way, and if it's just physical strength, Shikamaru has the ways to win. But do you have the actual scan to post so we can see the full context of it, just so we could look at it for a second before we end the debate?
Yeah, he's talking to Naruto. He's like, "What's taking Choji so long?" And he's like, "I trust Choji. He's the strongest." So the reference is in a battle, in a fight.
Can I see the scan?
Not just physical strength. Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Okay, if you can't find it, we could just go through the debate and do our conclusions for the end and just finish this up.
I'm gonna find it. It's not like this is taking me a while because I'm not a Naruto manga writer. Can't just like know where is that. And I also did not prep for this debate like you, so I just debate on the spot.
Okay, I just Googled it and I found it, but whatever. We could just
That's right.
the conclusions. Yeah. D1. Let's just do our conclusions.
Did you post a scan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that it's a double standard to say that we accept that he calls Choji the strongest, and just say that's not they're saying that's overall, not just physical strength. When we also have a statement that's saying Jirobo's the weakest of the Sound Four, and Shikamaru could very well know about the pills. We know he does later in part two, but at this point we
Part
don't
two
know if he
don't
knows for
go.
sure. But then that would, if he does know, that would just take away the contradiction. So either there's a contradiction and we have to pick one of the statements, or he knows about the pills and there isn't a contradiction, or he's just talking about pure physical strength and again there isn't a contradiction because Choji was the only one able to break out of Jirobo's barrier. So him being the physically the strongest would make sense in that regard. But other than that, in the overall debate, I think you're like trying to like jump around the times 10 argument was kind of dumb because it was pretty clear that he's just saying they're 10 times stronger in both of them, and trying to say it's an exaggeration for one but not the other is just weird. You didn't give any evidence that Choji could tag Shikamaru, and you didn't give proof that he could do the human boulder more than once. You just said that he probably could.
Exactly.
So since I showed two examples of him doing it only once, and one of them he only could do it once because he got dizzy and he literally couldn't do it again, I believe I won that point. And I proved Shikamaru blatantly scaled higher in speed since he scaled to weightedly based off Tamari's statement, and weightedly scaled at least to Dosu and Zaku, who were able to dodge human boulder. So Shikamaru should at least be able to dodge one human boulder easily. And then I also proved he scaled stronger in strength because he was able to strangle, he was able to force Curse Mark Stage 1 Tayuya to Stage 2. And we know she's stronger than Jirobo based off statements. And we know base Retrieval Arc Choji couldn't even beat base Jirobo. And that Choji was even stronger than base Chunin Arc Choji. So, and you agreed if I proved Shikamaru was stronger, he could strangle him. So if I won that, then I won the debate. And that's basically it. So you could give your conclusion.
Yeah, in conclusion, I believe that I defeated every single argument that this guy gave. He didn't obviously understand a single point that I gave. His first point was about the stats. I said the stats are unreliable because it shows contradiction with the manga. He then tried to say that Shikamaru is faster than Choji because Temari is able to react to a kick from Lee and Shikamaru is able to dodge Temari. I then proceed to show the anime scan and literally said that he's aim dodging, which literally gives him time to react to her because she literally runs at him then jumps up in the air, which slows down her mobility. Then he says, "Why would she jump up in the air if it slows her down?" I say, "Because she wanted the attack to be stronger." Right? He literally agreed to that. Right? So that doesn't scale Shikamaru anywhere. Another form of him literally dodging from Temari is literally him being meters away from Temari and her literally throwing a fan attack at her that he's able to dodge. Right? And the reason why he keeps his distance from Temari because he doesn't have the physical capabilities to keep up, and that is the reason why he keeps his distance. He gave no counter argument to that. Right? So Shikamaru does not scale to Temari at all, right? Then he tried to say that I bring up how like Dosu fights Gara, then Gara unleashes his Shikaku on Dosu, and Dosu literally is confident that he's able to take out Gara, which literally shows why Dosu will be able to beat Shikamaru as well. All right. Then he gave an appeal to reality, talking about something that if I'm able to hold 10 people at once, right, then I'm not able to hold one person, that I would be stronger than them. I said that's literally appeal to reality because this is fiction. We know that fiction works differently from our real world. Riley didn't say that Gumar was able to hold 8 people and he's not able to hold Choji because Choji will literally increase his mass by expanding his body. Then he says, well, Taiyu is able to break out, so that means that Taiyu is automatically stronger than them, which is a argument from ignorance. Then he just says that since they have feats and since they have no feats and she has feats, that automatically puts her above them. That's also an argument from ignorance. Just because they have no feats to showcase does not put her automatically above because we don't know what they can do. Secondly, he then says that what else he says? He says, and he even admits that they were caught off guard. So that wouldn't even scale Shikamaru anywhere in terms of speed or in sort of AP. We don't even know how strong they would be combined. Right. Then I gave argument support that by saying that Shikamaru was able to hold the 5 Kage, fuse Momo and Kinshiki all at once. And we know that Kinshiki is able to combat with Sasuke, who was equal to Naruto. Right. So Kinshiki combined with Momoshiki is able to defeat Naruto, which is disprove his point about Shikamaru being able to hold multiple people at once and not one person does not mean that that one person is stronger than all those people combined. That's just silly and just stupid, right? Uh, thoroughly already shown why Choji would be able to beat Shikamaru in a fight just based off the statement. I gave a preponderance of evidence leading to the case. Why would that be the case, right? I already showed that in the context about people stating that someone who's stronger means that they could beat them in a fight. Sasuke against Gaara stated to be Gaara's strongest opponent, proving that he will be able to beat Lee in the fight. About the Hokage stuff, being able to say that the Hokage is the strongest out of all the 5 nations, meaning that it's just not only referring to physical capabilities, or referring to beating someone overall in the fight. I give the Kakashi and Orochimaru example as well. And then all he says is that, yeah, it's in reference to the context. Then I said, yes, the reference in the context about Shikamaru is stating that Choji will be able to beat Jirobo because he's the strongest out of all of us, right? So that just proved that in context it's referring to beating someone in the fight, right? So Shikamaru himself even thinks that Choji will beat him in a fight. Secondly, he never proven why he would be able to hold Choji. And then he gave another argument from ignorance that's saying that just because Choji's shown to do this thing one time means that he's only able to do it one time. I already called out an argument ignorance for that, right? And then the context where he literally runs into the wall, right? So that is literally an argument for why he's only able to do it one time. He literally runs into the wall, gets stuck. The second time, he literally admits that he got sick. Okay, so that's another reference to proving why, right? All his arguments got defeated pretty easily. Like, it was like fodder. So all Choji would just need to do is human boulder him, right? And I did give an argument for why he'd be able to take Shikamaru. I said there's a limit to how long he could hold Shikamaru, and he wouldn't even be able to hold Choji. So Choji would just human boulder him until Shikamaru gets tired, and he would just hit him. Clearly, like, Choji human boulder attack would be too much for Shikamaru. All right. So that's basically it.
Oh, Mr. Weeaboo Warrior, any questions?
Yep, I guess it's over now.